Hello and welcome. Welcome to OTCR. This is the place to be. I'm your host today. I'm Sprinkles Nixon. And I thought I'd do a little something different today. The intro is a little different. It was a little thing called "Feeling Good" by Kevin MacLeod, and I kind of like the beat to it. But what we're going to be or what I'm going to be speaking about today is color, okay, and using it in your psychic development. Um, so there are many people who seem very obviously to have ESP. The sort of people who know that the telephone is going to ring before it actually does, and who knows who is on the other end of the line before they pick up the receiver. These people have their psychic power developed quite naturally. Oftentimes, though, other people envy them, thinking, I could never be like that. I don't have any such powers. Yet, that's not true. Everyone has the power. Everyone has psychic ability. It is just that in some, as we have seen, that the power comes out naturally, while in others, it has to be drawn out. So I'm going to be giving about 8 different exercises that one can do with using color. Okay, so the first one is these are I'll give you the things that you're going to need, and then we'll proceed with the exercise. Okay, so the first exercise, you need to take 7 pieces of colored material, each in one of the 7 primary colors. The pieces should all be the same size and the same material. Sometimes I use the colored felt, little squares of colored felt, different colors. And you can use whatever you like: cloth, silk, felt, construction paper, even cardboard, so long as they are all the same in size and material. Okay. And meditating, which is very, very important for developing one's psychicness. It deals with correct breathing, because the correct breathing of it is a very important part of psychic development and these exercises. And they should always be performed before you try any kind of an experiment. So learn how to meditate. Okay, so what we will be doing is you'll sit at the table, close your eyes, and mix up the colors in front of you. Then take one color and, with your eyes kept closed, hold it between your hands, your palm to palm, okay? Concentrate on the material and see if you can sense, not guess, but sense the color you hold. Does it feel warm or cool? Do your palms or fingers tingle? Hold it to your forehead and to your cheek. Any different reactions? When you feel you know the color, open your eyes and check. If you're wrong, don't worry about it. Make it a note of your choice. Take a sheet of paper and draw 3 columns. Okay, one for color, one for sense, and one for sensation. Okay, so this way you can keep track of what you're feeling with each color. Okay. In the color section, write the actual color that you find yourself holding. In the second column, where it's sense, write the color that you thought you held. And in the third column, sensations, and there you should write any reactions you have. For example, you might have felt the color was cool or vaguely unpleasant, or it might have felt warm and friendly. Write down anything you felt, even if on the face of it doesn't seem necessarily applicable to a color. Okay, put the color back with the rest of them, and again close your eyes and mix them up. Go through the same procedure. Mix the colors, pick up one, hold it, and try to sense it. Note the results. Keep this up for at least 10 minutes, then sit back and check your results. They should prove interesting. Don't be disappointed if most of your choices were wrong. A close is almost as good as correct. If the color was red and you thought it was orange, examine the sensations. The red end of the color scale is the hot end. The blue is the cold. Red will stimulate while blue will calm. Okay, so here's some of the things that are associated with some of the colors. So if you want, you can make a little chart and put down the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Okay. So with each of those colors, you can do a sort of color chart. Red representing strength, health, vigor, sexual love, danger, and charity. With orange, the color associated with orange is encouragement, adaptability, stimulation, attraction, plenty, and kindness. With yellow, it could be persuasion, charm, confidence, jealousy, joy, or comfort. With green, it's finance, fertility, luck, energy, charity, and growth. With blue, it's tranquility, understanding, patience, health, truth, devotion, and sincerity. Indigo, changeability, impulsiveness, depression, ambition, and dignity. Violet, tension, power, sadness, piety, and sentimentality. It's useful to know these associations for the purpose of psychic development. Okay, so that is one way of testing. The second exercise is the traditional period between waking and sleeping is known as the hypnagogic state. I hope I pronounced that right. Between sleeping and waking is the hypnopompic state. Either of these times is excellent for psychic experimentation. Try this this exercise. Take 7 colored pieces of material, the 7 primary colors, and place each in a separate envelope. Okay, now seal the envelopes with the windows downwards. Mix them up. Just before you go to bed, pick one envelope at random and place it under your pillow, taking care that you don't see the color through the envelope window. Just as you are or you don't have to even seal them, but you can use a non-window envelope if you'd like. Just as you are on the point of falling asleep, concentrate your thoughts on the envelope under your pillow, trying to pick up the color inside. Alright, there's a very simple way to do this. If you lie on your back and with your arms at your sides, raise one hand and forearm, bent at the elbow, straight up in the air. As you fall into sleep, your hand and your arm will fall automatically back across you, and it'll wake you. At that moment, try to sense the color beneath your pillow. Write it down, however roughly and quickly you can, then go to sleep. As soon as you wake up in the morning, write down the color you then sense, along with any sensations, thoughts, feelings associated with it. The color you sense as you wake in the hypnopompic state may well be different from that you sense in the hypnagogic state. Don't worry. List them both. You will need 3 headings on your sheet of paper. Color as seen through the envelope in the window in the morning. Okay, this is not at night. This is in the morning. The falling asleep sensation, which is the hypnagogic, and the awakening sensation, which is the hypnopompic. Okay, hypnopompic. Put the envelopes back with the others and mix them. Repeat the experiment the next night and for a total of 21 nights from this, as well as how well you are able to pick up the colors generally, you will see which is the better time for you to do your psychic work. Whether it's going to be in the evening or in the morning. So that's another thing that you can do with the color, because see, what you're really doing is just subconsciously and consciously during your conscious state, as you're focusing on the colors in the envelopes and putting them in the envelopes, you're getting the feel of the material, the feel of the color. So you're using just about all your senses there. And don't think that you're not using your hearing as well, because if you listen real closely, sometimes you can actually feel a color. It actually does happen, so you got to check that out. Okay, the third exercise here is very simple, yet effective. Okay, now ESP test can be done using 12 playing cards. From a deck of regular playing cards, take out the 8, 9, 10 of cups, the 8, 9, 10 of spades, and the 8, 9, 10 of hearts, and the 8, 9, 10 of diamonds. Okay? These are the 12 cards bearing the largest number of pips, what they call pips. Most useful for differentiating between red, black, and which you are going to do. You're going to differentiate between whether it's red or it's black. So this is again another sensing exercise of color. Okay, so shuffle these cards and then lay them face down in a row on the table in front of you. Now, going from left to right, try to sense each card as to whether it is red or black. That's all. Don't concern yourself with the actual suit or the value, just whether it is red or black. You may find it a help to gently lay your fingers on the back of each card, or perhaps to hold the palm of the hand over it. Experiment, whatever you want to do. Hold it up to your forehead, whatever you feel that you can probably get the most sensation from for the color of that card. Okay, and since there's only two possible answers to guess, expect an average of 6 correct each run for chance. If chance alone is at work, therefore, you will have approximately 60 correct in going through 10 times. If, however, you find you have considerably more than 60 correct or considerably less, then ESP is at work. For example, if you have 73 correct, the odds are 20 to 1 against the chance. 78 correct, and the odds are 100 to 1 against chance. Of course, the more times you go through, the more accurate a picture you will get. Here are some of the odds of the various run-throughs. 10 run-throughs, your chance of score is 60. 10 run-throughs, whether it's good, that against chance is 73, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you want to make the above experiment more interesting and more of a challenge, then use photographs of people instead of playing cards. 6 colored photographs and 6 black and white. You probably have to put each photograph in an envelope so that they all appear the same, and you'll have to try to simply differentiate between the colored and the black and the white. It will be more difficult because from the pictures you will also be getting feelings, emotions, health, etc., etc. Okay, which could be confusing. So you might be getting these things in, and it's kind of activating your mental info that's coming through. It might help a little to have the colored photographs, all of women, and the black and white, all of men. Okay, so we are moving on here. I'll do one more, and then we're probably going to be coming up to a break here. So, okay, so let's see. The fourth exercise. What did I do here? Okay, Imaginary is a step towards clairvoyance. Okay, if you have a really pretty good imagination, more chances are not that you can develop your clairvoyance even more so. Okay, um, sit comfortable in a straight back chair. The one you use for meditation would be ideal. Then, after a moment's quiet, imagine that there's a large tube standing on the floor in front of you. It's like those large cardboard tubes used for mailing posters, etc. Well, see it standing on end in front of you. In your mind, reach out and take the tube. Lift it up and look through it. As a child might be pretending to look through it as a telescope. This is your psychic telescope to other worlds, other realities. Okay? See the tube stretching away in front of you. It is large enough that you can look down it with both eyes. Keep your actual eyes closed, of course. Okay? You're doing this all with your eyes closed. I want you to see it in your mind's eye, stretching away off into the distance. There's no weight to it. It can stretch away for miles, if necessary. At the far end of the tube, see the color green. Now, much like with an actual telescope or the zoom lens of a movie camera, bring your tube into focus. Shorten it. Let the far end move in towards you and see the green is now the green of grass. See a vast field of grass, perhaps with green trees off to one side. You can shorten the tube, bring that scene in closer and closer to you so you can see all the details. If you want, you can focus on just one small item, just one blade of grass. Okay, so now extend the tube again and let the end be the general color green. Now I want you to change the green to blue. At the far end of your tube is the color blue. Gradually bring it into focus, shortening the tube. See now that the blue is a large armchair. It is in a room. See the room and all its details? You can move the end of the tube around as you wish, getting either a general view of the whole room or closing in on a single piece of furniture or item of decoration. In clairvoyance, you can see such a room as the room of the person you wish to contact. Okay, so if you're going to open up your clairvoyance, you can see such a room as the room of the person you wish to contact. Okay, as you look at it, you can make the door open and bring whomever you wish into the room. Anyway, another way to contact a person is to go through the above procedure and moving back from the color, see that color as the color of the person's dress or suit. If you like, the person can be standing with their back to you initially. Once you have moved back, got them in focus, and are ready to begin, you can then get them to turn around. The tube imagery with a color starting point can be a very useful introduction to clairvoyance. At the conclusion of the sitting, simply return to a single color, shorten the tube to its original size, and stand it back down on the floor in front of you. After a few moments, quiet, you can open your eyes. Okay, so these again, they're not very difficult to do. They're really kind of quite simple, but they're things that you can interchange, and by constantly applying your focus on your meditation and with the color exercises, you'll be amazed at what you're going to be able to pick up. I mean, even if something is in black and white, you can probably still sense the colors that are coming through. If it's black and white, a black and white picture, you might be picking up that brown suit, or it's a black suit, or it's a dark blue suit kind of thing. Okay, so we are going to take a little break here, and then we will be right back, and we will continue on with some more exercises working with color.
Off the Cuff Design, an online magazine that is given out freely. The wide range of promotional is unlimited. We take pride in bringing it all together for you. And we recognize that it is hard to reach a lot of people by just having a website, or even those writers that do not have the means to advertise or have a website. This website will provide its free services of advertising and giving others a platform to share their experiences, skills, and ability. For we believe that it is through others we learn not only of others but of ourselves as well. So, if you need a chat room to hold sessions, we can provide that with audio and video for classes, workshops, or just single sessions. Contact us to see what we can provide with our special features and promotional experience. And it is all free. Yes, free. Join us and meet other like-minded people, because that is what makes OTC the place to be. OffTheCuffDesign.com.
Do you like angels? Would you like to know about angels? Then join Peg Jones on OTCR's Wednesday's Whispers. Peg will guide you to just a glimpse of heaven through her knowledge of angels. Join Peg Jones for Wednesday's Whispers, only on OTCR. Hello and welcome back. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and sorry about the little space in between. It just didn't want to seem to take, because I think Mercury retrograde is still lingering around me for a little bit. But hey, we're going to work with it anyway. Okay, so there's I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the pendulum, the use of a pendulum for metaphysical purposes. They can be extremely effective, and I will I will go into them in another show with the healings on it. If you have a pendulum, that's fine. If not, then making one is very easily done. Virtually any weight on the end of a string will do. A favorite is to loop a length of silk ribbon through a ring. Even a needle on the end of a thread will do. A neck pendant on a fine chain is another possibility. The length of the thread and the string and the chain should be about 7 to 10 inches. Okay, now you're going to hold the chain between the thumb and the forefinger so that with the elbow resting on the table, the pendulum is suspended just above the table's surface. Okay, using the pendulum and having suggested to keeping the arm in the air with the elbow off the table, but I have no difference either way. You can lift your elbow off, or you can, keep it resting on your elbow. But resting it on the elbow seems to me to tire out my arm holding the pendulum, especially if it's going to be a long session. But holding the pendulum so that it is suspended over the center of a red section of a strip of paper. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to have, I'll give you the directions on the strip of paper, but the red section on the strip of paper, as it lies on the table, hold the chain still. Do not consciously try to swing the pendulum. Do not grip it too tightly. Now concentrate your thoughts on the color red. And it's all you're going to have is a strip of paper. Let's see how many. A strip of paper. I believe it's about maybe the width of a regular piece of paper. But in the middle, you're going to put Y, and on the right side, you're going to make a little square of red. Okay, and you're going to fill it in with red color. On the opposite side, you're going to have on the far end the color blue. Okay. So and in the middle, you can have yellow, which is kind of like a neutral. You have this strip of paper, and you're going to take your pendulum, and you're going to swing it you're going to see a ball of red light at the end of the strip of the paper. See it encompassing the pendulum. You will soon notice the pendulum starting to swing. It will swing more and more strongly, moving in a circle. Okay. When it is swinging well, move your arm across so that the pendulum is now suspended over the blue end. See here a blue ball of light encompassing the pendulum. You will probably be surprised to find that the pendulum will slow, stop, and start to swing again in the opposite direction, counterclockwise. Okay? As much as you change ends and color concentrations, so will the pendulum change directions. So the sense and the energy of the color itself is actually helping move that pendulum. If you stop it and then hold it over the center section where the yellow is, the color yellow, because you made a little block of yellow right smack in the middle, it swings backwards and forwards along the line of the strip of the paper. You'll get the same reactions from the pendulum if, instead of simply imagining the appropriate colors, you concentrate your thoughts on those things associated with the colors. Over red, think of strength, health, vigor. Over blue, think of tranquility, understanding, devotion. Over the yellow, attraction, charm, and confidence. Okay, so it's a very interesting thing because it's how the pendulum will automatically change because of the color influence of that is on that paper, and how you're relating with that color. Okay, so all right, let's move on to, there's another one with psychokinesis. Okay, Psychokinesis is the moving of material objects without physical contact. To demonstrate the pressures applied in the PK, we can perform a simple exercise using an animate object, a person. You will actually need a minimum of 3 people for this exercise. More than 3 is fine. On one side of the room sit one person or group that we call Group A. On the other side of the room sit another person or group that we call B. Now, let a toss of the coin decide which will be red and which will be blue. For the first run, let's say that A is red and B is blue. Now bring in a person who has been kept outside while the coin was tossed. This should be a person who is fairly relaxed. Have him or her stand in the center of the room at ease with the legs slightly apart. Let's call this person X. Okay? Now groups A and B should now concentrate their thoughts on the respective colors. With eyes closed, they should see themselves surrounded by red or blue light and should see it extending out to touch X. Okay? So the person in the center is going to have these colors by the people concentrating and focusing coming at them. Okay, if there are several people, so that you have groups rather than individual, then let one or two of each group concentrate on the associations rather than the actual color. Okay, so the associations of those colors that we had gone over in the previous discussion. Okay, well, what will or should happen now is that the person in the middle, Mr. or Mrs. X, will find him or herself being drawn towards the red group. Okay, in this first run, A, and repelled by the blue group. X will probably become aware of feelings of warmth and love coming from the red group, coldness from the blue. Okay, so if you're doing the associations and using the temperature as well, this can be done. So you're exuberating these feelings, these energies of color to the Mr. or Mrs. X that's standing in the middle of the room. Okay, do this experiment a number of times. You can flip the coin each time to see which will be red and which will be blue. Do not, of course, let Mr. or Mrs. Nix know which is which. You will find that you will find that the X person will far more frequently be drawn to the red than to the blue. Question the person after each run to get their reactions, what they were getting. It's really kind of interesting, and it's a nice, pleasant little learning kind of thing to do. Okay, just got to take a little sip of something here, so hold on. Okay, a simple, inanimate exercise can be done by using a cork ball. Okay, this is the 7th exercise. And by using a cork ball or a foam ball, easily obtained at fishing supply stores, you tie a length of thread to a pin and then push the pin into the cork ball or the styrofoam ball. Hang the ball so that it is free on all sides. Okay, that it's not going to be up against the wall or anything. It's hanging freely. Okay, point your forefinger at the suspended ball as close as you can get without actually touching it, and concentrate your thoughts on the color blue. Okay, feel the blue all about you. See it about and even within your body. Direct it down to your arm and out of your finger. As you direct out the blue color, so you should see the cork ball or the styrofoam move away from your finger. Now concentrate on the red, and it should swing towards you, actually hitting the tip of your finger. Okay, so experiment with the colors there. Okay, I'm going to have some time left over here, so I might be able to get some. I'll have to find some more stuff here to share with you. Okay, what about clairaudience? Okay, clairaudience in the psychic development is the ability to hear psychically. It may be accompanied by clairvoyance, but not necessarily so. And how do we hear color? Through music. Okay, color and music share common terms. We speak of tone, pitch, intensity, and volume for both arts. Chromatic is another common word. There is a psychological phenomenon whereby certain people subconsciously see colors and sounds. This is known as color here we go. I'm going to have trouble with this word. Synesthesia. Colors can even be brought about by sound. In the Los Angeles Times, dated way back, there was an article, a report on a machine known as the Auraratone, invented by an Englishman named Cecil Stokes. Musical vibrations registered on a sensitized emulation and were photographed by a movie camera. a different pattern of color was created in the emotion by each individual note. Now, this is really pretty interesting because when projected, accompanied by the music, the result was a glorious series of color patterns, subtly changing with the mood of the music. And more recently, a color organ had been developed by a Thomas Douglas Jones, known as the chromation. It produces colored light as it is played. Now, I don't know if they still do now, or maybe it's something that they bypass. But years ago on the internet, they used to have pictures of different things playing when you were playing music. Just get your eye focused on the music and the rhythm of the music, and they did colors and different patterns of stuff. Well, it's kind of the same thing there. But an interesting exercise towards clairaudience can be performed using a large conch shell. We are familiar with the sounds of the seas that can be heard by holding a shell to the ear, but more than the sea can be heard by the sensitive. Okay. This exercise, you need to sit comfortably with your back straight, start your breathing, and hold the shell to your ear. You will first hear the familiar rushing sound, but if you concentrate, you may become aware of subtle musical background sound. Concentrate on it and trying to bring it out. In clairaudience, a shell is often used by a developing medium to spark the initial contact and to focus the voice being heard. If you can also pick up a musical accompaniment, as it were, then you can glean additional very useful information based on the tempo and pitch of the music, together with any repeated emphasized individual notes. Now, this is not easy to do, admittedly, but you might take heart from the fact that some years ago it actually was done, and they tested for color response to music, and about 60% did get a response of some kind. So if you get a sort of response, then again, refer to your color associations of which we had spoken about. These are some simple exercises in psychic development associated with color. There are many more. Experiment yourself. Color and be tremendously useful tool, as you will find more and more interesting things that and exercises that can be done. The internet has plenty of them, and there's quite a variety of them, and it certainly won't help to do a complete meditation each time. And remember, practice makes perfect. Okay, so those are the 8 exercises. I don't see anybody in the chat room, at least not in this chat room. I'll have to check the other one, but if you have any questions or anything with concerns to what I had just shared with you today, or if you have tried them and you want to give me some feedback on what you got from it, that I would deeply appreciate. Okay, because it helps me to know that somebody is being helped in their meditation by doing some of these exercises. Okay, so let me see what else too. How about if I give you a little insight on crystal gazing? Okay. We just got a few minutes, so I'm not going to cover too much on this, but we can probably get back to it at another time. But crystal gazing is a branch of scrying. It's a form of divination that many people have trouble with. Usually it is just a question of practice, but many get discouraged before they even achieve their first vision. Instead of just gazing into the crystal and hoping for anything to appear, start out with a definite object in mind. Do your breathing and do a little meditation before you begin. Always do your meditation beforehand, okay, on anything that you attempt to do. Okay, and some people say, well, how long should I meditate? Well, it really varies. I do it sometimes with just a couple of seconds. I tend to I savor the moment. It's like that moment comes, and I can focus that meditation and bring me back down. Especially if I'm in a very or it can bring me up too, depending on the environment that I'm in and what I'm doing at the time. But yeah, I meditate really every chance I can get, and sometimes I do take more time as far as like I used to do like maybe about an hour time, but now it's if I'm going to take time out to actually sit and quiet myself for an extended time, it's usually about 20 minutes that I will do so. Otherwise, if I have a really busy day, I'm doing it in the spur of the moment that is given to me. Okay. All right. So with the scrying, some people may have trouble with it. Instead of gazing into a crystal and hoping for anything to appear, we can try to do this. Sit quietly and focus your mind on what you would like to see. Perhaps you have a particular question you want answered, or maybe a specific person you want to see. Okay, what I want you to do is condense down your question. Okay, boil it down. It's as if it's boiling, so you want to keep breaking it down, or the person to a single point, an emotion, a feeling, an action, or whatever. To bring it down to a focus point to where you can then enlarge, just like with the tube experiment. Okay, exercise. For example, you would like to meet with your recently deceased, greatly missed Uncle Max. Okay. He was always jolly, a very jolly person, full of vigor, seemingly healthy, which was why everyone was surprised when he suddenly dropped dead in the middle of the picnic. Vigor would seem to sum up Uncle Max. Okay, now vigor would be red, the color red. Okay, so this is how you can use these associations to the colors, okay, and the people to the colors. Okay, so you break it down, and then you build up. Okay, so for a second example, you would like to find out whether the weekend meditation seminar that you plan to attend may be beneficial and how it will affect you. This is basically kind of a combination of tranquility, devotion, and a need for understanding, all of which are allied with the color blue. Okay? Take the color you have arrived at and in your mind project it into the crystal ball. See the ball full of that color, blue or red or whatever. Don't try to project Uncle Max himself in there. Or a full a weekend of breaking down may be what it may be the objective, to get you to bring your focus down to a point so that you can gradually build it up. Proceed as normal, and you will find that when the scene finally breaks, it will be centered on the person or the question you wanted. Okay, if you have difficulty projecting a color into the crystal ball with your mind, slip a small square of the appropriate color, velvet or silk, underneath the ball. Okay, with this method, however, you must remove the cloth once the imagery starts. Okay, try to carefully slip the material out again from under the ball and drop it on the floor or put it behind you on the chair. Be warned, it will be difficult to do this without losing concentration and hence the whole picture. So the reason the colored cloth must be removed at the color premiation could interfere with other color information that has to come through for you. Okay, much of what you see in crystal or in any other form of scrying, mirror gazing, ink blot, water, polished copper, etc., is symbolic, and as a method of divination, pick up on colors as much as you can and use the color chart um, um, charts page charts that you have made up, and see how they are relating to you, and then if it is coming through. And each time you practice, you will get better and better and better. You will see it. You'll have your own little journal there of how you improve slowly and surely enough. And then they're wonderful to keep, because then you can, those things that you've gone through, which I've done these steps way back, and that's why I have my journals here in front of me. So I don't exactly know where it came from, because these are all notes that I have taken down and I've kept from things that I learned from. So again, it's pretty important, and color is very important. It's almost the essence of life. If you ever looked at the NASA live space pictures on, I think YouTube has some of them on there. If you ever looked at them, the glorious color in some of these shots that they pick up out in space is absolutely beautiful. So color is all around us, let me, if you're into numerology, I can give you a little fast thing here with the numerology and the color. The key of the numerical value of the primary colors are, let's see, 1 is red, 2 is orange, 3 is yellow, 4 is green, 5 is blue, 6 is indigo, 7 is violet, 8 is rose, and 9 is gold. Now, you can also, these can be the chakra colors as well, though I don't see brown in here. But you can bring any color in that you are relating to, that you like and you want to relate to, so that you can get the sense, the feel, the energy, bring that color to life. I'm going to say that's about all that I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want you to have color in your life, okay? Lots and lots of color, because it is absolutely beautiful, okay? When you can see that rainbow as you go out through the day. Oh, one last thing I want to tell you. When you get up in the morning, here's a very simple one. I want you, if you're wearing a blouse, I want you to choose a blouse with a particular color. And then throughout the day, I want you to see how many times you see that color on somebody else. Okay, put a pink blouse on. Okay, or it could be floral, but it's a pink floral. See pink. Make note of the pink that you're getting, and you're going to be really quite surprised of how much the color is showing you that you got it. You've been able to bring the color through. So that's another way of exercising your color into your life. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and again, thank you for listening in and joining me here today, and I hope to see you next week, and we might even have a gift for you. So come on in and come on back. Okay, love and light to all. Thank you. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of the OTCR, its affiliates, and or sponsors.